Hey everyone, Ruben here with KinderDog PDX, and this is our Saturday session, dog Q&A number 3. And joining me, as always, is our assistant trainer and my brother Shane, and he's going to be reading off the questions over the last couple of weeks. So, let's get started. Shane, with the first question, please.
First question. This is from Clow Clow. Can aggression be trained out? What are your thoughts on muzzles and the best way to muzzle train so they don't try and remove? Thank you.
Clow, right? Clow.
Yeah.
Can aggression be trained out? I would say yes and no. I think there's a couple of factors that go into play. What the severity of it looks like, how long has the dog been practicing said aggression. Different forms are going to require different kinds of management. Dog to dog aggression, human aggression, those are definitely different things. I do like that you mentioned the muzzles. I like muzzles a lot, especially for that type of scenario. Whether it's dog aggression or human aggression, it definitely helps keep everyone safe. And you are being proactive in making that happen, right? And the most important thing is that you feel confident and in control when you're going to be working your dog around whatever it is that's making them nervous, right? Along with that, aggression, these things can be just symptoms of underlying issues, so you might want to check in and see where you're at with your dog. Obedience work helps get you control of the dog, helps you teach the dog what they should be doing rather than what they shouldn't be doing. That's all language, right? And through the obedience work, through holding the dog accountable through those things, you can start to create a better relationship as well between you and the dog. So aggression issues aside, if you don't really have a lot of control over your dog, like he doesn't come when called, when you call him, he can't hold a place when you want him to be on place, listens to you sometimes, those are all things that you're going to want to clean up, because that's what's going to really help give you some leverage when you are tackling any kind of aggression issues, right? We can get into specific protocols when it comes to those kinds of things, but first and foremost, you want to get some training so that your dog is listening to you, so that then when you're moving forward, you both have a good basis of what to do. Also on your question, how to go about muzzle training your dog, there's a great video on YouTube from a trainer his name is the Barefoot Dog Trainer. His name is Josh Moran. And if you go to YouTube, you type in Barefoot Dog Trainer, I'm pretty sure one of the first videos that shows up is the IACP video of the month, how to muzzle train your dog. And it's a protocol of the dog eating out of the muzzle. That's where all the meals will come from, is through the muzzle, so that the dog will associate the muzzle with food, good things. So it's definitely a process, but it's a great process so that you can get the dog used to wearing the muzzle without pulling it off so much, and you would probably just make that a part of its day, because if it's human aggression and you're trying to get your dog out into more places where there's people around, the better the dog is with just walking with it on, the easier that's obviously going to make it. So take some time, get that going, get some good obedience work going on. I mean, we're like high level stuff here, because you really want your dog paying attention to you more than the other things. And so get on a good training program, wherever it is that you're located. And then, let's see, I think that's about it. Yeah, the barefoot dog trainer for the muzzle conditioning, solid obedience work, and then, see where you're at with that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know what level of aggression your dog is having, but some folks can misinterpret what aggression really looks like, and not saying that this could happen, definitely be safe out there, but it's like once you get some good training in, problems sometimes don't even surface because now there's a clear understanding of what's going on. You might have a much more extreme example, so by all, like, training doesn't fix everything, but it can help create clarity. Okay, so I think that's all I have for that one. Clow, good luck in your adventures with that. And if you are struggling with some dog aggressive stuff, I would look up, I would watch our training videos on our website, on our YouTube page. There's the Good Dog Training in Los Angeles. They too have a bunch of videos on YouTube. Solid Canine Training, a bunch of videos on YouTube. Dream Come True Canine, tons of videos on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. All of those places work with aggressive dogs, and it would definitely be up to you to pull the pieces from those places, to make something happen, right? Means we got to put in the work as well. So hope those links help you out, and yeah, good luck with your dog.
Second question is from Omelette du Fromage. And they ask, hey, I'm wondering how I get my dog to stop running up and barking at kids.
All right, Omelette du Fromage. How do you get your dog to stop running up to kids and barking at them? This is going to sound pretty simple, but keep them on a leash. If you don't want your dog running over there, keep them on a leash. The other things I would think about is, kind of echoing from the last question, is checking in on where your obedience work is at with your dog. Is your dog under verbal commands where you can say, Fido, come, and he comes the first time you call him? If you don't have that, he shouldn't be off leash, because it's dangerous for him, because he could run out into a street, get hit by a car. He's running up to kids and barking at them. He could bite one of those kids, which then he could be put down for that. So good obedience work, get him coming when called, when you call him the first time. So check in with that stuff, keep him on a leash, and then in the future, if you have got him trained up and he's starting to run towards the kids, you can say, nope, here, and get him back to you, right? So there does need to be some correction involved in the act of running towards the kids, but first it also starts with teaching your dog what it is that you want them to do. Okay? Also, refer to our training videos on our website. Good Dog Training in LA, Solid Canine Training up in they're in Rhode Island. Dream Come True Canine is over in New York. All of those resources there can definitely teach you how to make that stuff happen. Okay?
All right. Question number 3 is from Lindsay Zenner. Hey, Ruben, how can we get Reggie to slow down when he is eating? We bounce him around, feed him in doses, and work on patience, but when he's actually eating, he scarfs it down. Any recommendations?
Hi, Lindsay. Great question. This is definitely something that a lot of owners can struggle with. On one hand, I definitely think dogs are fast eaters. If he's gulping it up so fast, he's like throwing it up, maybe we do want to try to get him to slow down. I've heard of people using ice cubes in the dog bowl. I'm not sure how many ice cubes you would use, but maybe a good amount, because then he has to like kind of move the ice cubes around to get the food. Other things are like slow feeders, with like the designs in there that the food is dropped in and is like in between little slots. That definitely helps the dog to slow down their eating. Other things that you can try are not feeding the dog right away after you've put food in the bowl. I remember what I used to do in the past with our dogs would be getting their food bowl ready, like an hour before I would even feed them, because I didn't want to create the association of food being scooped into the bowl. All that's creating noise, which then creates excitement, because like if you do that a bunch of times, all those noises are going to just create that, oh, food time, and then they just start loading up from there. So what I would do is I would get their food ready, place it out, and have them just chill, and then just not even, maybe they go back to sleep or something like that, but it just took out that association of scooping. Now it's feeding time. And then what I would do then is, like, when the dog was asleep or what have you, or the hour was up, and I could see that the dogs were much more relaxed, then I would just feed them. Because then, they're like, oh, hey, I'm getting fed for being relaxed. So those are a couple things that you could try. I've definitely met trainers who use the slow feeders with their dogs, and that seems to definitely help. So that might be a route to try as well, right? So yeah, hope those help.
All right, and our last question here. This is from Sky Pearls. I have a buddy who blames his dog's bad behavior on the dog's personality. In quotes, the dog knows what he's doing, the bastard. I tell my buddy that he should take the time to train his dog, and that some of the dog's behavior could be due to confusion and not knowing how to act. He only partially agrees and says training takes away from their personalities. He has a boxer. What are your thoughts on this? And then Chaya said one more thing. Ultimately, he says that training a dog makes them brainless. I don't agree with him, but I'd like to hear, in your words, what you think.
All right, Sky Pearls. So I think you're on the right track. I think you are right on the money with that. The dog probably just doesn't know what to do, right? I think some people do blame behavior on personality, but don't use that as an excuse to not do anything about it, right? All those things are just, it's the output, or it's like the symptom of an underlying issue. So the dog destroying your favorite pair of shoes isn't part of their personality. That's just them chewing up a pair of shoes. Like, why can't they be chewing up on a elkhorn bone or something like that? For us, I think training enhances the dog's personality, because we actually get to see the true dog. We're no longer saying no to them all the time. We're no longer calling them bastards, because they don't know what's going on. They don't know the human world, right? To them, a shoe is no different than a stick. It's just something to chew on. And so it's up to us to guide them and show them what they should be doing, right? And then it's like you can start to include your dog in more things in your life, rather than secluding them to the backyard or into the kennel when people are around. And for us, it's like training just brings more of the dog out, right? It's like, I don't know. It's like blaming our, previous one of our dogs who dog and human aggressive. It's like I could have taken the easy road and just been, oh, well, that's just part of his personality. He likes to bite people and he likes to bite dogs, and just not ever tried to do anything about it. And, how would my quality of life go, right? It's probably be limited on what I did because people couldn't come over because our dog, would want to bite them. Maybe he was bad in the kennel as well, and it's like, well, it's just a part of his personality, so I'm not going to put him in his kennel. That's doing the dog a disservice, So we trained him, we got him to think differently about humans and dogs, and now he has way more freedom than what we ever thought he could have had if this would have been 5 years ago, and we just got him, and it's like he's been with us 6 months and he's bit several dogs and some people, and the thought of him being off leash I would have been like, you're crazy. But as time goes on, we did what we needed to do, training, lots of work. He's just in a much better space now, and his personality, his true personality, is coming out. He's not this psycho dog, the screaming devil of a dog. He's actually a pretty low-key, relaxed, chill guy. And for a long time, that was masked by anxiety, fearful, unsureness. All of that stuff was just a front for how he really felt, So, no, I don't think training makes dogs into robots. It really just enhances the relationship between you and your dog, right? So with that being said, it's like maybe you get a dog and you take the right approach and you get your dog trained up and you are working with them all the time, and you can just thrive on the relationship that you have with your dog. Unfortunately, people only want to be helped when they want to be helped. We can't tell people what they should be doing. So let your friend live the way he wants to live with his dog, and maybe you set the example. I don't know if you have a dog, if you're planning on getting a dog, but you lead by example, and maybe that might rub off, and maybe your friend will see, oh wow, maybe this training thing isn't so bad, because your dog's such a badass, and then you can be the proactive one and have a really awesome dog whose personality doesn't involve destroying your house or slowly making you into a hermit, because of their behavior. So yeah, hope that answers that up for you. In short, you should always train your dog. Always. It's good for you. It's good for society as a whole, because now society doesn't have to put up with their dog. It's just always train your dog. All right. So, thank you for the question.
All right, that's all of them.
All right, everyone. That was a good set of questions there for this week. As always, we'll be back here again in a couple of weeks. We'll post up some pictures several times just to it gets lost in the feed. So we'll post up some graphics. Look for those. That's where you can put your questions in on Instagram and on Facebook. And yeah, we will see you all here next time.